We are answering more of your questions in today's video. Welcome into this edition of the Red Sox Rundown. But before we do, 20 people away. Ladies and gentlemen, 20 people away from our goal of 1,000 followers on Twitter, X, whatever the heck you want to call it. Join the movement over on Twitter. That's it right down there, Jack Lottery. I'm also going to leave the link in the comments and description of today's video. Instant Red Sox coverage. Also, my crash outs during every Red Sox game will be on Twitter. So join me over there. Join the 980 other Red Sox fans by following me on Twitter today. Let's start with Locked On Golf. My name is Jack Lottery. Welcome back into the Red Sox Rundown. Let's just get right into it. If Alex Bregman were to opt out of his current contract, which I think he will, what would a new contract be and what numbers will the Red Sox be looking at paying him, long or short term? So let's start from the back and work our way to the front. This will be, in my opinion, and I think a lot of people agree with this sentiment, this will be the last contract Alex Bregman signs as a Major League Baseball player. He wants to be locked down for the rest of his career. And like I already alluded to while reading that question, he is going to opt out of his contract this offseason. If he continues to play at the clip that he is and he doesn't get injured again, knock on wood, hopefully he doesn't, he will opt out. Bleacher Report put out an article predicting, some of the offseason moves. And he predicts, Kerry Miller of Bleacher Report, predicts that Alex Bregman is going to sign a 4-year, $128 million deal with the Detroit Tigers, who have been heavily rumored to be going all in on Bregman if he reaches free agency. Here's my take on the entire thing. I didn't put this down here, but I will. You should have extended him already. And the fact that Bregman no longer wants to talk about an extension is very concerning. But if 4 years, $128 million is all it takes, you do that every day of the week. Now, I'd be willing to give him more to stay in Boston. More money, more years, whatever he wants. He has what you desperately need. Leadership. He's a leader. He's leading these young players. Not only is he playing well on the field, but off the field, he is leaving such an impact. Multiple people have talked about Bregman. Sedon's talked about Bregman. Stories talked about Bregman. And then, of course, Mayer, Anthony, Campbell have all talked about Bregman. You need that type of leader on your team. And if it takes 4 years, $128 million, you do it every single day of the week. Moving on to Trevor. Who do you think the Sox need to go after in the offseason? As a follow-up, what do you think the Red Sox need to do to get even better next year? 2 things. Starting pitching and a right-handed potential or left-handed bat to play first base. Someone in the middle of your order. So let's talk about it. My starting pitcher targets for the offseason, I got 3 for you. Joe Ryan via trade. I think the Red Sox are the favorites to land Joe Ryan. I think they're going to be aggressive to land Joe Ryan. And I think that the package is going to be much less than it would have been at the deadline. He's my number 1 target. Excuse me. If you can get him on your team, you've got instantly one of the best rotations in all of baseball. Dylan Cease, not a bad option. Has not had a great year. So I don't think he's going to go for as much as people think he will. He's still going to get a pretty penny. But I think if you could lock him down in free agency, he would also be another really awesome addition to your rotation. Framber Valdez, who we talked about a few days ago, he was predicted to sign with the Red Sox in an article, that same article by Kerry Miller talking about Alex Bregman. I think if you bring him in, he would be a consistent number 2 piece in your rotation behind Garrett Crochet. All 3 of these options are fantastic, and if I got any of those 3, I would be really, really excited. In terms of position players, you don't need a lot because you've got that young core of exciting players. So I picked up 3 players that I think you should go after, and a lot of them have the same theme. First base, pop in the middle of your order. Pete Alonso, while I don't think likely, I think you should try. I don't think his market is going to be as big as people think it's going to be, but if you at least get into the conversation, I think that's definitely something you should take a stab at. Kyle Schwarber, I've already talked about. I would love to bring him back to the Red Sox. Now, do I think he does? No, I think he probably stays in Philly, but he would be my number 2 position player to look out for. And then Eugenio Suarez is going to be a free agent this year as well. There were rumors that the Red Sox tried to trade for him and potentially move him over to first base. Why not go sign him in free agency, see if he wants to move over to first base? These are 3 options. of position players that I think the Red Sox should go after, looking for a middle-of-the-order bat that could potentially play first base. You go down below in the comments. You play Craig Breslow. Name a player that you think the Red Sox should sign. I want to hear your thoughts down below in the comments. I think Joe Ryan is my number one target. That's a trade, not a sign. If we're talking signings, I think Dylan Cease is probably my number one option. Song Theorist 2. Do you believe Marcelo Mayer returns before the postseason? The age-old question that everyone's wondering. When will Marcelo Mayer be back? Christopher Smith had the most latest update. This was on Monday. That Marcelo Mayer played catch, started his baseball activities, which is great to see because Cora had said a day before that he didn't even know if the cortisone shot worked on his wrist. So the fact that the next day he was starting to play catch and starting his baseball activities was a great sign. Fast forward to the 13th, Cora didn't have any new updates on Marcelo Mayer. So he starts playing catch on Monday, but then 2 days later after he plays catch, we have no updates. I'm going to stay optimistic that he plays, but we can't be for sure. We can't know for sure because these types of injuries are very fickle. The fact that surgery is still on the table is a concern nonetheless. They are only going to know when they know. And I know that sounds like kind of a cop-out answer, but with injuries like this, you're just never going to know until you feel good. So we're going to see. The next few weeks are going to be critical. I don't think he plays for a few weeks at least. Postseason, maybe, but we got to see how that shot reacts. And the fact that we haven't really heard anything is a little concerning, to say the least. Shinobi Drip, one of the big commenters on the channel. Thank you so much for the support. Do you think Payton Tolle will be called up soon? So I don't think any big call-ups happen until September when the rosters expand from 26 to 28. But I do think there's going to be at least one pitcher and one position player that gets called up. Here are the 4 most likely options, in my opinion, of people that can be called up. Payton Tolle is my number one. I would call him up now. I did a video yesterday talking about how I think he's the hidden piece for this team. And in an article that we uncovered, he was one of 4 prospects that in MLB that could flip their team's scripts for September. Kyle Harrison has had 3 straight really great outings. He's another option for the rotation that I think would be really good. David Sandlin, he moved to the bullpen. He could be a bullpen option for you. Connerly Early, Tyler Uberstein, 2 other options that could get called up. I think these 3, maybe early, but I think these 3 are the most likely to be called up. But I personally like Payton Tolle the most. But he might need more time in Worcester. He's only had 1 outing so far in Worcester. And it was okay at best. 4 shutout innings, but in that first inning, he gave up 5 runs. Not great. So I do think he's still a little raw, but I think when you get to September, when he gets a few more starts under his belt, he might be the best option. However, I think Kyle Harrison, David Sandlin, Connerly Early make the most sense. They've been at AAA for a while. They've all gotten some good reps. I think Sandlin is still kind of getting involved in the bullpen. I think Kyle Harrison, you should call him up now. He's had 3 straight incredible outings. And I think that he could instantly come in for Walker Buehler and do at least the same as Walker Buehler, if not better. I think Walker Buehler and Dustin May are both on the hot seat going into September, and they should both watch out because I think Payton Tolle and Kyle Harrison might be up pretty soon. You let me know, though. Be the GM once again. Would you call up Payton Tolle? Type C for call up if you would. Type K for keep down if you would keep him down. You let me know down below in the comments. Luke, I had to put this in here. Why are you him? I'll tell you exactly why I'm him. I'm him because I bring you the best Red Sox coverage on YouTube, and you should subscribe to the channel because daily Red Sox coverage, short-form videos every time a move happens. We are going to have watch parties for the playoffs. I talked to my bosses today, and we confirmed that if the Red Sox make the playoffs, we will have watch parties as well. Join the over 4,576 Red Sox fans and help us get to 5,000 subscribers as soon as possible. Join the family for the best daily Red Sox coverage on YouTube. Only need 424 of you to get to 5,000 as soon as possible. Andrew, coming in. How long do you think until the Red Sox call up Kristian Campbell, and do you think he will perform as well as he has in the minors? So, much like Tolle, I think it'll be September. I don't think there's going to be a big call-up until rosters expand. But like I said with Tolle, I think they will call up one pitcher, one position player. And I think Campbell will obviously, be the one. Now, there's no doubt he's been mashing in the minors. Had a 15-game hit streak. He's been starting to pull the ball with power, which has been really great to see. I know Tyler Milliken talked on the Section 10 podcast 2 days ago that the analytics under the hood might not be fantastic, but nonetheless, he is starting to gain his confidence back. He is starting to gain his swagger back. And I think when you bring him up, he will settle in and contribute. I think he also could be your first baseman. So I think it's going to be around September that he gets called up, and whether or not he performs as well as he does in the minors, that's to be seen. But I do think he's gotten his confidence back, which is something he lost when he got demoted earlier this year. Do you want the Red Sox to call up Kristian Campbell? I know a lot of people do, but if you do, show it by liking today's video. Every person that likes today's video I know wants Kristian Campbell to be called up. I'm going to like the video because I want him called up as well, but you do it. Show me down below by liking today's video. Last question on today's show. I saw this one, and I just had to talk about it. Smoked Out says, why is Sam Kennedy such a massive clown? I can't believe I'm about to do this, but I'm about to actually defend Sam Kennedy. Sam Kennedy has the impossible task of being the spokesperson for ownership. John Henry has not spoken to the media in literal years. He hides every time a media member tries to ask him a question. He will not talk to the media. So therefore, Sam Kennedy has turned into the de facto spokesperson for media. Now, I'm sure he is part of some of the decision-making process, but at the end of the day, Sam Kennedy's not making the decisions, but he has to defend them. I know that people want to meme on Sam Kennedy because he is the, I think, scapegoat in all of the ownership conversation because he is the face of ownership. I don't think it's Sam Kennedy's fault, though. I actually don't mind Sam Kennedy. I think he's a good dude. I think he gives really good answers. I think he shows personality in his interviews, unlike Craig Breslow. I just think that a lot of people like to meme on him and criticize him because because of what he is. He is an extension of ownership who people actually have a problem with. So at the end of the day, I don't think Sam Kennedy is a clown. I think he makes a lot of money, so he's not, absolved of this, but he has the impossible task of being the spokesperson for ownership. He doesn't make the decisions, but he has to defend him. You let me know. Be honest. Take what I said and form your own opinion. Do you like Sam Kennedy? L if you like him, D if you dislike him. Let me know. I want to hear your thoughts down below in the comments. That's going to be a chippy one. I can't wait to see all of the comments. Before we get out of here, I want to give a shout out real quick to Polizziana. I'm sorry if I mispronounced the name. For being the top commenter on yesterday's video. I said whoever commented the most individual times on yesterday's video would get a shout out on today's video. He commented 21 times individually on the video. So shout out to you. Thank you so much for commenting. If you want to get a shout out in a future video, make sure you comment down below as well. And once again, before we get out of here, help me get to 1,000 followers on Twitter. We only need 20. It's going to be linked down below in the comments and description of today's video. Thank you all so much for watching today's edition of the Red Sox Rundown. We'll be back tomorrow recapping the first game of the Marlins series. And until next time, go Sox.